In The Company You Keep, a former Weather Underground activist goes on the run from a journalist who has discovered his identity.
Former Weather Underground leader Sharon Solar,
one of the longest-standing fugitives on the FBI's most wanted list, was arrested yesterday, 30 years after the notorious Bank of Michigan robbery,
which resulted in the death of a guard.
What's wrong? You look weird.
I'm fine, honey.
You on your way to New York to turn yourself in?
Don't move! Hands in the air!
I thought that would bring me peace.
Why now after 30 years?
Who's your best reporter?
Prove it.
I was primarily looking forward to The Company You Keep because of the cast. I mean, the cast is insane. Just listen to this. Robert Redford, Shia LaBeouf, Julie Christie, Sam Elliott, Jackie Evancho, I actually don't know her, I apologize, Brendan Gleeson, Terrence Howard, Richard Jenkins, Anna Kendrick, Britt Marling, Stanley Tucci, Nick Nolte, Chris Cooper, Susan Sarandon. It's insane. I just realized the reason I don't know Jackie Evancho is because she's the little girl. So that's fair. Honestly, I barely remembered what the movie was about or what it looked like. I had seen the trailer once. It was just the cast that got me into the theater in that seat. And I gotta tell you, I'm glad I went because I really enjoyed The Company You Keep. I thought that it was lacking in a few spots. I'll get into it, obviously, in a moment. But, you know, the cast alone, I think, makes it worth seeing. And I do think the story was interesting. A little too long, but I really enjoyed it. But let's get a little more into The Company You Keep, starting off with the plot. I believe this movie is based on a book. I have not read the book, so obviously I will not be able to compare it. But I thought the story was interesting. I thought that it was a little bit, well, maybe at the start it felt this way more. It felt a little bit self-important. Like, I wasn't involved or invested enough to care as much as the movie sort of felt like I should have been. Gosh, that's confusing. Hopefully that made sense. But I did eventually get engaged, and I thought it was kind of interesting with the different twists and turns it took. It wasn't like a big twisty-turny thriller. It was kind of a slow movie. I would say my only issue is more so in the editing. I don't really think it's in the script because there were definitely moments in the movie where there was no dialogue, so I don't feel like the script needed to be cut down. But I think the movie could have been trimmed a bit. Just trimmed, like a bush. Trim, trim, trim. That's it. Nothing big. But aside from the fact that I feel like it could have been cut down, I do think the movie was pretty well done. Not amazing, really. The main reason is because it didn't have much of a style, save for one shot at the end. Actually, the final bit of the movie, I won't spoil anything, but I loved that shot. And I thought that was really cool. That was probably the most interesting aspect of the movie as far as the filmmaking goes, as far as, I guess, the directing and the editing and putting it all together goes. But like I said, I feel the best part about this movie is probably the cast. As interesting as the movie was, you know, I was into it. It was definitely the cast, and it was the reveals, because I forgot who was in the cast when I sat down in the theater. I was like, all right, I know this person, this person, this person. Forgot a whole bunch, and as the movie goes on, there's like, you know, just people introduced throughout the whole thing, which maybe adds to the feeling that it could have been cut down because it's just like there's a new character introduced every like 10 or 15 or 20 minutes. So, you know, that was interesting. They kind of come in and go out, but I thought that everybody was great, and I wish I could have seen more of them, but obviously, you know, it's a huge cast, and the movie would have had to be longer if everyone was in it longer. So I have to say, for what it's worth, everybody did a great job. I will specifically go into just a few. I'm not going to go into everybody, God help me. I thought Robert Redford was really good in some spots, and then a little hammy in other spots, primarily when he was with the little girl playing the daughter. I thought that maybe she was the hammy part, and he just had to, you know, react to that, but something about that felt a little off, and throughout the movie, it felt a little bit like, you know, I mean, he directed it, so it felt a little bit like, I don't know, he was kind of not all there, which is understandable, but somewhat noticeable. Shia LaBeouf, I thought, did a great job. I really loved the character trait where he would push the glasses up on his face. Just a quick little tap. Felt very natural. It felt like that character's been doing that all his life, or at least for many, many years, so I thought that was pretty cool. And honestly, I feel like if I go into anybody else, I'm going to want to go into everybody, so I'm going to just cut it there. I'm not undermining anybody in the movie by not mentioning them because I thought everybody was great, and the performances definitely elevated this movie above what it might have been otherwise, because like I said, you know, as far as the directing goes, I really didn't feel much of a style or anything really significantly unique about it. The story was interesting, but nothing hugely amazing. I was into it, but let me know in the comments what you thought of The Company You Keep. Did you go in for the cast, or did you go in for another reason? Maybe just because you like Redford directing, I don't know. Let me know what you thought about the comparison from the book to the movie. I'm pretty sure it's a book. If not, then disregard, I guess. But if you've read the book, what did you think in that respect? Let me know what you thought of the cast. Let me know who was your favorite in the cast. Let me know anything that you want about The Company You Keep. And that's pretty much it.
Secrets are a dangerous thing, Ben. You get answers, but not the ones you think.